Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for week 40 in Project Life, so stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm working on week 40, the big 40 in my Project Life album. Here's what I'm using. This is mostly a stash busting week. I tried to find items from the September Stories by the Month kit, which are of course dated for October, and I really couldn't find anything that seemed to play off of the colors in my photos, so I made it sort of a stash busting week, despite the fact that I have the new kit. So let me speed up the camera and continue to let you know what I'm doing. I've got this gorgeous orange vellum floral, which I love, so I use that as the background for the title card, and then the larger October abbreviation vellum. Those I think are from this past kit. Otherwise, I'm really just dipping into my stash. I found a bunch of red, orange, and yellow cards and embellishments to use, and that's what I'm going to do. So the title card's simple. I've got these, actually, I'm finally able to use these gorgeous label stickers and word phrase stickers that I have from Everyday Explorers that I purchased a while ago. So I am going to use those throughout the spread, and I like the texture of these stickers. They're really nice. These alphas are from Citrus Twist Kits, and they're just a really great staple to have. I've got them in a few colors, so I'm just going to use them to abbreviate week 40, and I will use them throughout the spreads as well. And then the dates for this week are September 29th through October 5th. So I put Loving This Season on the top of the card, and then I used up a lot of my stars that I have from the Paper Person shop. So pulling those out and sprinkling those around as well, because one of my absolute favorite embellishments is some sort of puffy sticker, hearts, stars, that type of thing. Then the photo to the left is me and one of my little buddies from school, one of my students who likes to sit on my lap all the time. And so I didn't write anything about it. I just put this chipboard that I have that says learning, and then called this row done. The middle row is another 4x6 card, and then a 3x4. So I've got this card that I'm going to journal on that says doing the work is from the work story kit. And I use that to do my journaling for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I talked about how Matt was away on a work trip, and it was definitely a change of pace for our family, and that he left a card and a treat for every day that he was gone, one for me and one for Nora, which was the sweetest ever. And talked about how exhausted I was doing all the things. And then let's see, how I got hit on the head really hard at work on Tuesday and like ended up falling over and having to get my eyes checked to make sure I didn't have a concussion. I was fine, just a little bump on my head. And then Wednesday just said that I was glad that it was October, and how I actually took the day off as an extra day knowing that Matt was going to be away, which was like my saving grace, honestly. And I filmed my first ever Hobonichi Plan With Me video that had the entire month in one video, and I absolutely love the way it turned out, and I'm so excited that that's how I'm choosing to share Hobonichi and planner content moving forward. Like each planner video, like the type of planner system I'm using is going to have its own month-long video, so that it's all like one and done, and hopefully frees up room for me to do other creative projects. So that's what I wrote about on my card. And then the picture on the right is just Micah, one of my babies. He's one of my favorites, running around in gym class with the parachute on his head and his head poking out of the mesh part, which was hilarious. So I obviously had to document that. And I just put gym is always silly times. And I put a chipboard piece that said good times. And then the word phrase sticker said so happy. And then just a few puffy stickers. The last row, I used the back side of the previous week's 4x6 card and put two 3x4 pieces on it. And then there's this picture of Nora's nails after I did them for her. She wanted baby blue French tips with lots of different nail art, so I journaled about that. Then there's this picture of my friend's son, Ethan, at her house, which is always where I go during cheer practices. And we get to hang out and have adult time, and then I get to play with Ethan, who is just so cute, as evidenced by this photo. And I just talked about how the more time I spend there, the more he's like getting comfortable with me, and I just look forward to our visits. And Yeah, it's just a really, really nice change of pace because I used to always stay at cheer practices and help out coaching cheer, but this year I'm not. So it's really nice for me to have some adult conversation and then to be there for my friend who's going through some stuff, and also, you know, play with Ethan. So I journaled all about that on the This Moment card, which was a 4x6 card. The other piece of this card is going to be used on the right side of the spread, and you'll see that in a minute. I also went back and added LOL to the picture of Ethan because it's hilarious and he's so super cute. All right, so that is this left side in real time. You can see how it looks. And then I'm going to move on to the right, and I have a big, it's the same page configuration, 3 4x6 slots and 3 3x4 slots. So the top is the picture of Nora and Smokey cuddling on the couch in the craft room. It was so freaking cute. He was like a little baby just asleep on her that whole time. And so I just added a bunch of embellishments and journaled about it on, there's the other half of that card that I trimmed into 2 3x4s, the oval that says This Moment. And I talked about how we had the day off together because it was Yom Kippur. I got some editing done, and obviously Nora got some snuggles. And then I went and got my hair done. I got some more highlights added and my roots touched up. And then Nora got to hang out with her friend. We ran errands, and then we went to cheer. So even though it was the day off, it was definitely full. And I'm just spelling out adorbs on that picture. And I have So Blessed and Currently Thankful as my word phrase stickers, and then some puffy stickers. Then the middle row, there's this quad photo I made in the Diptyque app of our Friday afternoon after school. I picked Nora and her friend Fiona up, her little bestie there, and took them to see the Life of a Showgirls release party. It was so good. We had a great time. And then I took them, let's see, Nora got a new little like Labubu keychain series from the Pop Mart pop-up shop we had in the mall that we were at. Then we went to Five Below with them. Then I took them to a different mall because where they wanted to get dinner was at the different mall. And before we went to dinner, they wanted to go into Newberry Comics to look at the Pop Mart goodies and get some blind boxes. So there's a picture of them at dinner with their blind boxes and also making their choices. So I used the foam stickers to put the initials for the Life of a Showgirl at the top of the photo, stamp the date, and then on the picture of Nora with her Labubu, I put the stickers that say, yes, please, happy place. And then the picture of Nora and Fiona in Newberry Comics says, here we go, because I knew they were going to take a while making their decisions. And I just wrote so many choices. They had fun. And then there's a card to the left of it where I'm doing a bunch of journaling about the weekend. It says The Story, and that card is from the Storyteller Colors Kit. And I just used some puffy stickers to act as bullet points and talked about having a productive day on Friday and all the fun that we had with the girls. And then the very last picture, actually had more pictures than room this week. So my cousin got married, and if you follow me on Instagram, I shared a bunch of stories. So hopefully you are, because I always like to share things from real life happening over there. And so that's the picture of my youngest cousin Patrick and his now wife Anna Marie, gorgeous bride, and my husband and I, who was very jet lagged. The poor guy, he was jet lagged, and his flight was delayed, so he didn't get in until like 2 a.m. Poor Matt. So, and that's after working like 16-hour days while he was at work in Idaho. So I talked about that on this little tag card, which I think is also, no, that's from Week in the Life, I think. Is it? Honestly, I can't remember. But it's another Ali Edwards stash product I had. And then I just talked about how I worked on editing, and then Nora and Matt played Zelda together because he got her the new game as one of his like little gifts for her while he was gone on her scavenger hunt. And talked about Sunday, which doesn't have any pictures. Nora had a game, and we shut out the other team, so they ended up turning the scoreboard off because at one point I think it was like 35-0, and then just randomly wrote them out, and I finished the Gilded Age. Not the whole thing, but just season 2. So that wraps up my week. It was busy, and it was just Nora and I. It was our first time having a whole week, just the two of us, and it was fantastic. I honestly am so pleasantly surprised at how great she did without him and how great I did without him. So we were very glad to have him back, but it was definitely, fine. I'm very proud of myself. I've come a long way, let me just say. So, yeah, all joking aside, I am very thankful to have this week over and done with, though, and be already living in week 41. And the last thing I do, I'm just going to add twine to the top of this tag because I didn't want to leave it naked. So that wraps up my week. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me put this together. I hope it inspires you to use stash items. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. I would absolutely love that. It would mean so much to me. And hit the bell so you don't miss my content. And I will look forward to seeing you back here next week for the next one. Take care, sweet friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye.